Welcome back to Hear Me Out. I'm Dee.
I'm E.
And today's episode I think is like dumb.
What?
Because
How are you gonna go off the bat and call it dumb? People stay tuned.
no, because I think that people get upset over the dumbest stuff. And okay, let me just let y'all know what it is. So apparently the internet is finding Drew Barrymore's interview with Oprah to be cringy and uncomfortable and whatever other adjective you want to tack on that I totally wholeheartedly disagree with. Anyway, go ahead before I give any of my thoughts. Tell us what happened and why it's so cringy.
First of all, the inflection of your voice. Like, I think people know from here to South Africa to Asia, the whole continent. Like, they all know how you feel. So,
I'm
thank you
glad.
for giving
I'm
it away.
glad. I'm glad.
So, what's going on? People, are basically calling her interviews cringy, especially Oprah's. So, let us know in the comments if you watched the Drew Barrymore show. So, according to Complex, words like cringe are being tossed around with reckless abandonment after a circulation of a clip showing Drew Barrymore gripping Oprah's right hand and caressing her arm. The clip comes from Oprah's recent appearance on Barrymore's talk show, which earlier this year became the subject of widespread criticism after it briefly resumed production despite the then ongoing writer's strike. In the footage, Barrymore and Oprah discussed the importance of establishing and maintaining a strong relationship with one's in-person audience, when putting together a successful daytime production. Barrymore pointed out the influence of Oprah's approach to audience interactions and has on her own show with Oprah returning with the praise. So here's a quote: "You are the human thought bubble of all the crew here," Barrymore exclaimed at one point in the interview, which quickly spurred impassioned reactions on Instagram. Another quote: "If I were ever a guest in this situation, I had to have a boundaries discussion backstage," one viewer comments. Another person said, "Not everyone wants to be touched and fondled." That makes it sound so terrible.
Wow, it does. Oh my god.
All right. Elsewhere, the clip was called out all too cringy and very uncomfortable. Despite the public's take on the televised moment, Oprah herself later said that she felt comforted by Barrymore's reaction. Barrymore's affection, not reaction. As if she felt uncomfortable during the interview, Oprah confirmed that she felt no such thing. So, a quote from Oprah: "Not a bit." She told the TMZ paparazzo, "I was actually comforted by the stroking of her arm. I went home and told Stedman, 'You gotta stroke my arm, Stedman. I need to be stroked in the arm. It's comforting.' No, I was not uncomfortable at all. I've never seen her to do that, and I thought it was endearing." She didn't tell that to Stedman.
Did. Okay, so listen, I I'll start off with, and I think I mentioned it to you before, there was a clip I'd seen of a psychotherapist saying how, he saw the clip and he also saw the internet's reactions. He read comments. I guess he's a comic creeper himself.
Yeah.
And he said that yeah, he noticed people were saying it was cringy, it was uncomfortable, and that for him, like after seeing the clip, he didn't see Oprah look the least bit uncomfortable. He didn't see Oprah, body language kind of seem like off-putting or any of that. And so he believes that people's comments are more a reflection on them and how they feel with touching and just someone being so close to them, that maybe they have past traumas or issues where they were not touched appropriately, or they've never been made to feel comfortable with a physical touch or such close affection from someone. And for me that was incredibly illuminating, because yeah, like, this is dumb. What in the world? Oprah is a grown-ass woman. If Oprah had a problem with Drew Barrymore, Oprah would tell her. Like, I
Not
don't
on live TV, you think?
I
Is she
don't
gonna
know.
say fall back? Drew,
Why
you're
not?
too close to my bubble?
Why not? Like, oh, I feel like Oprah could do whatever she wants, and who's gonna tell her
No,
anything?
she can't. She cannot.
Okay, okay.
I I don't think I'm an Oprah lover these days.
Point is, I think it's just really like it's like such a hypersensitive like society that we live in that it just something like so innocuous would make me feel uncomfortable. In fact, like for me personally, I like my personal space. I like my bubble. I don't like anybody in my space. I'm not very affectionate, but that's just how I grew up, right? I wasn't like someone who was affectionate just in general overall. I also grew up in Miami, and in Miami, we're not very affectionate all that much either. So when I moved to Texas and I had to learn about Southern hospitality, it was weird to this day. And I've been living here for nearly a decade. To this day, I still feel weird when someone says good morning or hi to me on the street. And I'm just like, what? Like,
Oh, you're making Miami people say mad rude. Uh,
and you are, and you are.
no, we're not.
Oh, yes, yes.
No, we are
Miami people
not.
are so rude. Miami people are very rude. I know this because I was a Miami person. Like, so I've tried to adapt to like, be a little bit more welcoming or whatever. But so my whole thing was that whenever I first started seeing Drew Barrymore, the clips of her show, because I can't watch her show. I'm at work during the day, but like when I've seen clips of her show, I have found it as well endearing that she has such a like closeness with people. Her interviewing, I feel like the vibe that I get from it is that she's giving you a safe space, a literal safe space.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, or that's the vibe that I take from it. Um, and so it's like I don't know why people look at it the other way. But anyway, what did you think?
Well, yeah, she's all up in the nacho, but I think that's okay, right? For her, she's interviewing her colleagues. These are people
Hmm.
that she's known since she was, I don't know, ET days, 4 years old, 3 years
Yeah, she's a
old. People
kid.
grown up with, people that she's seen in the industry.
Yeah.
So, if she doesn't know them, like they're good friends of hers, like,
Hmm.
6 degrees of separation. So I don't think it's anything bad.
Yeah.
And if they are uncomfortable, they're actors. They're acting really well.
This is true. This is true.
All of these people, they're like genuine, like friends. I saw
Yeah.
an interview with Jason Momoa. First of all, why wouldn't I want to be that close to Jason Momoa? He was like all up in her space, and I'm like, yes, girl, take it in, take in the air. Someone also with Michelle Pfeiffer, and they were, it was just like girlfriends talking.
Yeah.
The Oprah one, it was interesting because there was like more caressing of the hand
Yeah.
and things like that. But
Yeah.
I think everybody's body language is towards her. Like if they were
Yeah.
uncomfortable, they would be pushing off a little or like
Right.
shifting body language another side. I'm not a person reader kind of thing, a psychoanalyst or anything, but from what I know and what I do, or you
Yeah.
don't see, their hands crossed or something very
Yeah.
awkward. So I think they're
Yeah.
all comfortable. I think that's her interviewing style, like you said. Other
Mhm.
people have different styles. I kind of like it. I like her quirkiness.
I know, me too. I enjoy it. I think that like the reason why I feel like shows like hers and Kelly Clarkson's have been very successful is because they give you that like at home, like comfortable girlfriend time kind of vibe and environment. Yes, they're interviewing, yes, they're doing a job, certainly, but I feel like there's just a comfort level, and then that in turn makes the interviewee,
Hmm.
these celebs or whatnot, also feel comfortable, because if they didn't, like you said, their body language would reflect that. And if you're comfortable, you're going to provide a better interview, I feel. It's like these celebrities do a million interviews, during every cycle that they have, as far as like promoting something or whatever. And I'm sure they get tired of the same questions, they get tired of the same kind of vibes, and it's got to be refreshing. Like right now, the reason Oprah was there is because she's doing the promo tour for The Color Purple, the remake, and she's done a million interviews. So I'm sure that it must have been very refreshing, very comforting having someone like Drew Barrymore interview her and kind of give her that like safe space, that feeling. And also there have been studies where people actually feel or benefit from physical touch, like in that sort of way where someone is like rubbing your back to make you feel better, rubbing your arms, rubbing your hands, things like that. So I think it's very like appropriate if it's something that they're comfortable. Obviously, if you're not comfortable, then yeah, like that wouldn't be good. But I I feel like Drew Barrymore, being that she's been in the industry for so long, maybe she has these conversations with people before they come on the show. Maybe she does like tell them like, "Hey, just want to make sure we're good here. This is how I interview." Like I'm pretty sure either a producer or Drew herself, I feel like there's got to be some kind of information pertaining to that. Like I also heard how Jimmy Fallon, who's a late night talk show host, apparently him or his producers actually kind of do like a prep interview with some of the celebs beforehand to see like if there's chemistry or how things are going to go or whatever. So I'm sure that there's layers to all of that, and so I think that people's reaction was just uncalled for. And I don't really see the point. I like seeing that more like kind of comfortable feeling of like, because okay, like let's say you and I were to interview like a celebrity. We don't know these people, right? We've never met celebrities like that. We're not going to be all touchy feely, but in general I think that like just the way that we are like with one another and with other people, especially once when we're out of the country, when we've traveled and everything, we try to be very like nice and welcoming and open like with people. So I feel like that's something that we would try to do.
Mhm.
Whereas, you have other shows like you go on The View, or you go on even like Jennifer Hudson's show, and there's still like you see that element of like separation, that element of like very just this is an interview professionalism, all that other stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but
Mhm.
there's a difference. So anyway, all that to say people are dumb.
Just to further elaborate, I think it does make people feel comfortable, her interviewing style. I think I actually do something similar
Hmm.
when I'm interviewing, for staff at my job. I'm like, tell me about yourself. And like, we're just going off of what they're saying because I already
Yeah.
read the resume. I might
Okay.
look at it and be like, okay, elaborate on this a little bit, but it's very much conversational.
Yeah.
Interviews are already nerve wracking,
Right.
trying to make a good impression.
Yeah.
So it being more conversational, a little more relaxed, gives you a more relaxed interviewee relationship,
Yeah.
and you can
For
get way
sure.
more information than them clamping up because they're so nervous or
Hmm.
they're too focused on making a good impression.
Yeah.
So I like her style. I like how casual it is, but you're still getting info. Long are the days, the Oprah days, the Ellen days,
Oh,
sitting across, and it's so formal, and I like
yeah.
it better. And I like Drew Barrymore. She's so cute.
I agree. She's cool people. At least that's, what it looks like. And like she's been through a lot and now she's on the other side of it. And I think that it's amazing that she is able to have this, second career now as a talk show host, and she's able to like be on the other side of things, right? Where she's now asking the questions, but
Yeah.
she's probably doing it in a way that she wished had been done for her.
Mm,
Like it could be a little bit of that. So I appreciate her style and the way in which, there's something that a celebrity's going to understand better about a celebrity than a non-celebrity. You get me? Like, so that's why I feel like there's a lot of like comfort and just like safe space, vibes that I get from it because these celebs know that she understands what they're going through, what they've been through, and what all of this entails. So overall, I didn't see anything wrong with the Oprah clip at all.
ditto. But let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think that her being so touchy feely is inappropriate, or are just people tripping? I don't mean to offend Gen Z. Gen Z always seems to have a problem with things. Maybe the boomers too. The boomers.
Not
Us.
the boomers.
Well, it's a bubble. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
maybe it's a US thing. I don't know. But let us know what you think in the comments. But that concludes today's video. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share our video. We're trying to grow the community so your friends be our friends and we can all be friends. We also have social media, which Steele tell you about.
We are on Instagram and TikTok at Hear Me Out DNE. So make sure you guys like, follow, share, comment. We enjoy interacting with you guys.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.